Can you hear me now? I had to go to my MacBook Pro. Sorry, guys. Quality won't be quite as good. I don't know what's. Okay, it should be having me now. Hopefully that's working. Yeah, with 2 minutes and 15 seconds to spare. Can you hear me now, as they would say on the whole radio show? All right. Uh, Sorry, for some reason. See, on Facebook, I promised a tech disaster, and for some reason, this microphone is not working today. So, well, I'll just have to project. I will use my radio voice. And apparently I'm phasing in and out. I got a cat at my back. Oh, we almost had a cat sighting. I'm sure glad some of you watch this because it's kind of fun. Thank you all. Oh my goodness. The best bartender I know is currently watching. My friend Kevin Farney. What I would do, I'd go back to drinking to sit at a bar and have Kevin Farney make me a Negroni. All is good. Nancy's here. Fantastic. Wow, we got a great group today. What a bunch of fun. The problem is I don't hear myself as well when I don't have this microphone on. So, you know. Happy Thanksgiving, all. Let's go to the fancy intro. And so I've been digging deep into that, and I wanted to think about Thanksgiving. So it's two parts, obviously. There's thanks, and let's see here. Dictionary.com defines thanks as a grateful feeling or acknowledgement of a benefit. And of course, giving is to present voluntarily without expectation or compensation. So I don't know about you folks, but I think of Thanksgiving almost as a noun. It's Thanksgiving. But really, what it is a time to reflect. It's a time to understand how good things are, even as they are not necessarily. We've all had a very difficult year. I'm wondering, I got a lot of bartender friends, and the bars are closing at 10 or not at all, or they've got weird ass distancing. Of course, I've been around music my whole life. My musician friends are almost completely out of work. Even those people who have relatively normal jobs are working from home, and that's difficult. So maybe it's a time to reflect on that grateful feeling, that acknowledgement of benefit. So I hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I hope that you get to be joined by at least a few friends and family. We have decided to cut our group from 30 to 5. Fortunately, that means that my daughter's here. My wife and my daughter are upstairs right now planning a shopping expedition. We already have pies laid out. I'm probably going to bake a loaf of bread. This will be the first year since ooh, for a long time, maybe 40, that I will not cook a turkey at all. Um, there are a few friends on here who have had my turkeys. I've smoked them, I've deep fried them, I've slow cooked them, I've brined them, I've cooked a turkey about any way possible. And I'll be honest with you, I do not care that we're having prime rib instead of turkey. So where are you guys? Are you a traditional turkey eaters, or are you going to try something a little different? Maybe a smoked tri-tip, or I don't know, tofurkey? Something made out of soybeans? Who knows? I hope you have a great Thanksgiving. And I am so grateful for you all. And I appreciate much, much, much the opportunity you give me to talk to the 100 or so of you. My dog, who talks, my dog talks for me, was giving me a hard time this morning. I called this a TV show, and the dog said, "No, it's not a TV show. It's kind of a silly podcast." But silly or not, I find it important, and I greatly appreciate that here. So let's pop this one over. So my niece, Summer Day, would have been one of the people that would have been with us in that 30 group, and I would have brought a turkey to her aunt, to my sister, to my sister Donna's house, and we would have ate it a turkey. Um, we all bring stuff. My table's going to be quite a bit lighter. It will be fewer entrees and fewer sides. I do think we'll probably have green bean casserole, and if I'm guessing, uh, that Summer would miss that too. So there you go. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. Prime rib. Yeah, that is a good thing. Here we go. Look at that. My friend Robert's going to do the Chinese buffet. Well, I'll be a little nervous about a Chinese buffet in COVID, Robert. Hope you end up being safe. Don't get infected, because we need to head up north and take some pictures of some water. All right, my friends. Let's talk about Idaho rivers. As you know, some of you know, most of you know, I'm working on a book, and I found some really fascinating things about the Idaho waterways. The book is going to be probably called Exploring Idaho Waterways, and let's talk about Idaho waterways. This is a mallard, beautiful duck, obviously in the fall. So, what do we know about Idaho? What have I found out? Guys, got any interesting Idaho water facts I need? Anything? The Almost all of the water, all of the rainfall, all of the snowfall goes into the Snake, even from up far up north. Even the Lost Rivers, which I'm working on, I'm doing a little bit of research on. I'm hoping to get out and take some photographs of them. Even the Lost Rivers, which literally they're lost. They roll along and then they drop into what is called the Lost River, the big Lost River Sink and the little Lost River Sink. They're near the town of Howe in southern Idaho, and they actually end or sink in the INL. So we can't get a picture of the actual sink. Some years in high water, lots of high water, they will go back almost to Arco. They head south, basically towards the craters of the moon, and that's why they sink. Most of the ground in that part of Idaho is a basalt, and if you've ever picked up the cinder rock, like on your landscaping, and it's got those little holes, the water goes to it, and then it just sinks down in. Interestingly enough, when I grew up, they said they didn't know where the water of the Thousand Springs come from. An awful lot of the water that ends up at Thousand Springs is actually from the aquifer, the Snake River aquifer, and is fed by the it is fed by the waters of the Lost River. Yeah, thanks, Sig. So I'm going to tell this quick Thanksgiving story because Zig brought it up. We used to, as a group of folks, mostly the men in the bar, we used to get together the night before Thanksgiving. Um, and we got the day off because we all had an affliction called the thong flu. And I won't tell you what we did, but let's just say that it involved a lot of drinking. And that was back in my days when I was probably at my worst in the imbibing sense. And we all got together And sometimes we've rented a van. One year we got a limousine. We often wandered around in Joe Brown's van. We had a friend, Mike, who was a teetotaler, but certainly was good fun, and he would drive. One year I got a little bit of too much joy, and I woke up the next morning. It occurred to me that I needed to cook a turkey for my own self, and I needed to took a turkey for a party, and that the turkeys were in the back of my car. Headed downtown, could not find my car. My children still talk about it, and obviously my friends still bring about it. That was the year I lost my car. Any other great Thanksgiving stories that you can embarrass me with? There we go. So I was talking about the waterways of the snake. So almost all the waters, including the very top, the northernmost, the Kootenai River, Kootenai for us, Kootenai for the Canadians, stops at the clear up in Boundary County, rolls out into Canada, swings around, and then comes back and hits the Snake, um, just above where the Snake River flows down from Washington into the mighty Columbia. Um, Only the Bear River is different. The Bear River used to flow into the Snake, but a lava flow stopped it, maybe in geological times, a short period of time, which is probably, I don't know, um, 30, 50,000 years ago. I'm not sure. Can't remember the exact date. So the Bear River no longer flows into the Snake. It flows into the Salt Lake. And interestingly enough, the Salt Lake is also, in effect, a lost basin. That water does not make it to the Pacific, and that's why it's salty. There are 880 square miles of open water in Idaho. There are 2,000 lakes, some of which that have not been named yet. Of those lakes, Pendorlay, you know how to say that word? It actually, it means, yeah, I can't remember what it means. Nez Pierce means Pierce nose. And there are 93,000 miles of river, which means Idaho has more of the has more mileage of rivers than any other state, I believe, than Alaska. So there you go, folks. Let me show you one more picture here. So in putting this book together, I spent a year with the Idaho Power folks. I am not going to get into the controversy of the dams and the salmon, partially because I kind of I actually strongly believe I can make a very strong argument on either side that we should breach the dam or that we shouldn't. The economics of Idaho and the Northwest are pretty strongly tied to cheaper hydropower, so I don't know how we do that. I do wish we could find a way to get the salmon around, which my whole lifetime they've tried barging, they've tried building ladders. Um, just doesn't seem to be a good man-made solution for that. So hopefully we'll get to the point where we can generate our power in such a way that we don't need the dams. Currently we do. So this book is going to have photographs of dams in it, and here's one of Hell's Canyon. What do you think of that decision to not avoid? I'm going to avoid all the politics. I'm not going to talk about the mining or any of that. As you know from watching the show, I generally avoid politics in general. My opinions sneak in here and there. I got to admit that I'm kind of happy that we might actually have a transition now, but in general, I don't want this to be about politics. I want this to be about pretty pictures, interesting stories about rivers, and that sort of thing. Well, again, my friends, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I am so grateful this year, even with all the craziness. We have a lot to look forward to. I think next year is going to be better. I don't think it will ever go back to being completely normal. My favorite coffee shop is telling me it's pickup only, so I don't have any place to go. I've been writing in my bed, which just is kind of kinking me up. I'm going to have to figure out a better solution for that. As I said, the book's coming along. I will probably do something like a Kickstarter or some sort of pre-sale, and I hope that you will help me work on that. I'm getting to the point where I'm sure it's going to happen. So, talking to publishers, I'm thinking of an art grant and all of that. I promised you today crazy hair, and I noticed that This is a cowlick. I'm going to close with my cowlick. And it even close here. So, my entire life, this piece of hair, right here, that one, let's get it, let's see here. That one right there, just often decides to stick up. Now, I brushed my hair this morning when I brushed my teeth and did my other SSS. Didn't shower today because I got a little behind writing. And so, did any of else of you, did your parents, especially your mom, did they lick their fingers and plaster that thing down? I can remember that distinctly, even though my mother has been gone for 44 years. Happy Thanksgiving. Have a great week. I will be back on Friday. I'll probably bring you some more interesting, hopefully interesting stuff about Idaho and its rivers and its waterways. I've been chunking away, guys. It's gonna happen. I have basically a layout. I have a rough outline. I've been writing some interesting stories about my on location, some of which you've heard. I talk a little bit about the wild horses. So on Friday, I'll be back. I'll try to get my hair a little better. Um, by the way, my glasses are crooked because my face is crooked. This is David R. Day. I am wishing you all a great Thanksgiving. May it be filled with good food, good laughter, and a ton of gratitude. This is how this ends. David R. Day. Go check my website. I'm going to show you all my stuff, but please check out davidrday.com. I added all my Instagram stuff.